Hey everyone, hope you're well. It's been a weird weekend where I wanted to record videos and I kept undermining myself in silly, ridiculous ways that I'm going to explain now. I mentioned on Twitter that I was trying to find a mask to wear out and about, and the ones I got were rubbish, and I went and bought some. Someone suggested I buy one from Boohoo and it was great, done the job, but the problem I had was I bought this cheap mask from like Pound Stretcher or the Pound Shop or something like that. It cost me £2. That's the only reason why I'm doubting it was a Pound Shop was because it cost £2, not £1. But it was some kind of cheap shop, and it had a line down the middle of it. When you turned it, up from the front, it looked flat. From the inside, it had a line down it, and I wore it, and then I had this stupid line down my nose for the next day or so, which meant I didn't want to do a video because I'd have been sat here with a line down my nose looking like a plonker. That faded away and is gone now. I think I can't see it, but I mean, it's not too bad at the moment. But if you might think something's slightly off with my face, I don't know, there's always something slightly off with it. But I was shaving and I kind of take the razor to my face, I'm doing all the bits round and everything, and I kind of went and I accidentally shaved my mustache too high up. And at the time, it's kind of grown back quite nicely quickly now, but you can still see it's further back. There's more skin there than there normally is. Kev would argue I don't have a mustache. I've had a mustache for, as I say, 20 years, but that's not strictly true. I've been 15, that's not strictly true. No, but it was much higher up like 3 days ago. It's grown quite, I'm surprised how quickly they grow, but I looked ridiculous. I think this was Friday night, Saturday morning, one or the other. I shaved and Claire just heard me go, "No!" from the other room. And I said, I've ruined my mustache. And she was like, "Let me have a look." So I tidied up a little bit. When I opened the door, she was like, "It's not too bad. It just looks like you've tried to do something really tidy with it. You've tried to be really like, look how thin and straight it is." And I was just like, it looks ridiculous. My lip feels naked. And I was sort of looking at it in the mirror, and it was a good sort of, I mean, it's probably twice the length that is, but it just, I don't know, it makes it look like I've been burnt slightly or something, I don't know. But I felt like everyone could see it. It was ridiculous. It was a similar thing. I mean, I think I was just being generally self-conscious because the mask that I wore with the line down my nose, when I wore it, it pushed my ears like that. And it made him look really pointy, and I went in Tesco's and I was really conscious about it. And as I walked past this family, this kid looked at me, did a double take, and then leant in to talk to her dad. And I thought, she's saying, look at his weird elf ears that he's got. Because they couldn't have been the nose line, it must have been that. But then I went out Saturday to, we went to Ferry Meadows, it's like a big field thing in Peterborough. And I didn't have a mask on because we were out in the open, and we saw some friends there who play Pokemon Go. We were all doing the Go Fest event, and I'm chatting to them and I'm thinking, I wonder if they've noticed the massive gap between my top lip and my mustache. They didn't obviously say anything, I didn't say anything, but all I kept thinking was, I wonder if they're thinking, what the hell has he done with his face? What has he done with his mustache? What's going on here? I say it never came up, but that does bring me nicely on to Pokemon Go's Go Fest that happened at the weekend. That was absolutely fantastic. You spent like 15 quid on a ticket basically, so I only got one for myself, I didn't get one for Ollie. I feel like the things he missed out on, I got enough of that I could give him them. So basically, it's every year they normally do a big festival in Chicago, and people travel from all around the world to go there. So it costs people hundreds of pounds, thousands of pounds to go, depending on where they live. So I've never been, obviously. But this year they did it globally because of the pandemic. And what it basically meant was from 10 till 8 on day one, there was like a quest to do where you unlocked balls, items, whatever. And you did special quests where like you had an hour to, you had an hour to catch 5 million fire Pokemon between all the people playing it. And the quicker you did it as a group, the quicker you got to unlock like a triple experience or a triple Stardust or a triple candy for the Pokemon event. So I think ones like that were done in like 10 minutes, and it meant you had 50 minutes of the prize. And then there were other ones where they were saying like send 2 million gifts to friends, and then all the gifts you open will have rare candy in them. And the game bloody crashed, so it was like, nah. But we managed to do the quest, and then I had like 20 minutes of just opening gifts quickly to get the candy out of it. Now, the people have been going mad about this online, about how buggy it was and how laggy it was, and it wasn't that bad. It was a bit buggy for like 2 hours on the first day. And by 2 hours on the first day, I mean I was already sort of 6-7 hours into this 10-hour event. I think I've done the maths right there. Yeah, 10-hour event. And they basically did 5 different things that repeated, I think it was. So I'd done all of them. and then they repeated, and I did them all again, and in the second run it bugged, and it was like, oh well, that's not really the end of the world, is it? You know, people were raging, 15 quid thrown down the toilet, and it's like, well no, 7.50 a day, and 2 hours of one of those days went a bit rough, but no, I had a great time. I caught like 24 shiny Pokemon. I think I added 3 or 4 to my Pokedex. I just did a lot of walking out around Fairy Meadows. I found a log chair that I sat in that was the perfect width and length and hardness to be the most comfortable chair ever. I sat there for like 45 minutes. I had lures on and I was just chilling out in the heat. It was very quiet, very relaxed. I thought it'd be full there, but it was actually normally it's packed with Pokemon players, but it was really overcast and Google kept saying it might rain. It didn't. It rained for like, I think it rained for like 3 minutes while we were having lunch. It was just really fun. It was just nice. We walked around the park. The kids were playing constantly. Ollie saw some of his friends that he plays with now and again. Ben had a great time. He saw a choo-choo train going up and down the middle of Fairy Meadows. And yeah, it was just, I must have caught like 500 Pokemon while I was there. You know, did all the quests, did all the event. And then the next day I went out again. I got up, went straight out, 10 o'clock the next day. I think I got up earlier than that. It sounded like I got up really late. Not much earlier though. And that one was like a Team Rocket day where they'd taken over all of the Pokestops and you had to sort of fight them and rescue Pokemon. And then they had Shadow Pokemon and they had the 3 legendary birds, Mewtwo. It was all a big battle. Caught a load of more shinies. That one I kind of took a bit easier. Like I went to Claire's mum's for some lunch and some cake and then watched Spurs play. I can't remember if we won now. It was a bit of a boring game. I think did we draw? I don't know. I can't remember. It was boring as hell. I'm sick of football at the moment. But yeah, I was a bit miffed actually because I stopped playing thinking the football started at 3 and then it didn't start till 4. So I was really like, I'd wasted an hour of my Go Fest. But I went out, played the rest, and Ollie and Ben sat in the car with me. Poor old Ben wanted to come with us desperately, then realised we were just sitting in the car and got really upset. Then he fell asleep and then he wouldn't go to bed all the night of Sunday. Just like, it ended up being that I promised him that if he stayed in bed, I'd leave the door open in his room, and he just sort of happened to fall for it. I don't really get it. But bless him, he went to sleep. But he's been keeping us up all week. And we're all a bit knackered because he won't go to bed at the moment, because I suppose he's probably just not doing that much around the house and not really worrying about, you know, normal routines and stuff. But no, we were having fun. We don't mind when we're off. I'm off this week, as I mentioned last week. But no, Go Fest was fantastic. I got to go around outside, got to hang out with Ollie, traded him a lot of cool stuff he was happy about. He was really excited about all the stuff happening in it, even though he wasn't playing it. I think it worked quite right that I could still share it with him and show him it without him needing 15 quid worth of tickets spent, because he wouldn't have made. I'd have been annoyed if I'd spent 30 on it and he didn't touch any of it. But yeah, no, I had a really good time. Did some raids with my friends down in Essex. So I went out and parked up thinking I'd go for a long walk around town on my own. And then everything I needed was in that car park. Like I had enough stops, gyms, everything. And my mates were inviting me to do raids remotely. So I ended up spending about 2-3 hours just sat in my car with a window open. But that was quite relaxing in itself. That was great. So yeah, it's just really good. I recommend doing them in future if there's ever a chance and you play the game. Yeah, I loved it. I had a great time. It's not all meant to be a Pokemon Go advert. I realise this is it's just been already 9 minutes of vlog. I mean, it might edit down from that. But what did I do the rest of the week? It's Ben's birthday, 2-3 days after mine. So my birthday's in about just under a month, 21st of August. Ben's is the 25th of August. So we took the kids to Smith's yesterday because they've not been in many shops in like 6 months. So I thought a toy shop would be great. They went to Tesco's last week. They went to a toy shop this week. They had a great time just looking around. Toys have really upped their game since Emily was little. Even in Oliver's time, like we went down this aisle and it had Pokemon figurines, Mario figurines, Sonic figurines, Minecraft figurines, Roblox figurines, all the Marvel heroes. Oliver was just there like, I want that. That's my birthday sorted in sort of 3 months' time, whenever it is. And he was just like, this is insane. We were all a bit blown away by how many Oliver toys there were in there. It's a shame that we weren't buying his presents, but we wandered around the whole shop trying to find stuff that Ben wanted, and at first was a bit like, where is all the stuff that Ben would want? And then it turned out right as we went in the door, I said, let's go left because that all looks like really baby stuff. And when we were around the whole shop, it turned out that just past the baby stuff was all the 3-year-old stuff, and we'd skipped it. So we were in there for like an hour and a half, I think, in total, maybe not quite that long. And in the last 10 minutes, we found Ben's stuff, and we're like, oh, we're so stupid. I'm so stupid. But yeah, we saw lots of, there was Peppa Pig, there was Paw Patrol, Thomas Tank Engine, this thing called Coco Melon that he really likes. He calls Baby, but it's called Coco Melon. I think they're a doctor, I don't know. Yeah, it was really cool. He basically, he's just old enough to say all the things he wants, so we could add them to a list, or all the things he liked. Or we didn't particularly ask him and say he was getting it. We just let him have a look. Anything he got excited about that we thought was good, we added to a list. So that was quite fun. I wish it was that easy for me. I've said this before, I say this every year. I wish I could have just wandered around going, yeah, Claire, get me that, Claire, get me that, get me that. There was nothing in there, even though it was a toy shop, so it was for kids. We went in another couple of shops and just nothing. I hate it. I wind myself up. I'm trying not to think about it, but that's part of the problem, because then Claire asks me again and again and again and again, and it starts stressing me out. But no, that was really fun. And yeah, I think Ben's excited. He knows he's having like a family birthday party. We're going to get whoever from our family that comes. We've invited them all to come to our house, sit in our garden. We want to get a bouncy castle for Ben to bounce on, and you know, hopefully my niece can come and stuff like that, and they're all just bouncing this bouncy castle, which will be fun. And yeah, it'd be good. Ben keeps saying, I'm getting a bouncy castle in the garden, I'm gonna have a party, I'm gonna have a cake. So yeah, that's exciting. This is basically the first one he'll properly remember. All the other ones he was too, well, the other two he was too little to do. So I'm really excited about that. Not long now. I also remembered I've got my birthday off, because work give you your birthday off. So I'm trying to decide what cool thing I can do now. Claire's gonna book it off and we'll go out as a family. So I can have that weekend with my family and then Ben's birthday all in the same sort of 4 or 5 days. Should be good. That does depend on whether my mum and dad move. They've put their house back on the market, and last year they were on the market for a full year and they had about 3 viewings or something like that. Maybe not that few, but it wasn't many. Last week they had like 11, and they've had several since, and they've had more viewings in the past week and a half than they had in the whole of 2019, because people are so desperate to move now. So we're really hoping they get to move to their new dream sort of scenario over in Norfolk, and they're showing me lots of houses they're looking at and stuff like that. I think it'd be great. I really, for selfish reasons, wanting to go there on holidays and visit them, but I also really want them to have their just retirement. I want them to be retired and have their fun, and you know, go and just chill out. My mum was telling me all the stuff near where they're going, like a railway, a museum, a beach. You know, some of them have moorings with little lakes at the back and stuff like that. My dad keeps showing me all these houses that have got these massive, like they've got their garage, and then they've got another room that's for like, you know, a workshop essentially. And my dad's a tinkerer, so he'll like tinker with electricals, he'll tinker with mechanical stuff, whatever. He'll do his Lego, you know, he'd be out there going nuts, just building stuff. And he's bought all this art kit, like an electric art thing to draw on. So I just thought it'd be great for him. He'll just be out there all the time, and that's what I want him to do. Because at his current house, I think they feel a bit like they've had to do the house up, and now they have to not touch anything, because they wreck it, then you know, people won't want to buy it. And their neighbours are being really difficult. Like, the fence fell down and they had to show people the house and be like, that fence isn't ours, they're fixing it, and stuff like this. So it's a bit of a bugger for them. But yeah, it's an interesting time for them. I'm a bit sad to see my sort of other, you know, I had 2 houses growing up. You know, we had a house we lived in until I was about 12, and then a house that they lived in until I moved out. And so it'd be a shame to say bye to all the houses I lived in as a kid. You know, they'll be gone. It'll be like, this house won't be my house, it'll be their house that I visit, which is just bizarre. Like, Claire visits her family at their old house. It's the house. Claire's got a bedroom. I was thinking to myself yesterday, I won't have a bedroom at this one. I'll have to go there and say, this is my room, and just claim it as my room. But it won't be that way. My mum will be like, oh, go in the guest room too, or whatever. I don't know what people say. Whereas it used to be, oh, go in your room, or go in your sister's room. And, you know, it was obvious which room they meant. It's just going to be weird. I don't know. I mean, I'll get used to it. I'm not saying it's going to blow my mind forever, but it seems a bit like, oh, damn. But no, I'm excited for them to move. Any excuse not to have to go to Grays again would be lovely. Yeah, I'm quite looking forward to going somewhere nice to visit them. Speaking of neighbours, I do feel awkward that I did something last week and it seems to have paid off. But I feel really awkward now because I feel like I'm laying in wait all the time. Basically, I was sat in the kitchen doing some work. Next door, I had the music blaring. First thing I did was put on System of a Down really freaking loud, and it didn't work. I did check it afterwards actually, and I don't think it really went out the door, but their music went up a bit. I turned mine off after like 20 seconds because I thought this isn't even workable. I can't do this. If Claire comes home, she's going to kill me. So I turned it off, and they carried on with their blaring music. And I just thought I need to do something. So I wrote to the council and just said, look, I'm sick of this. You know, this is a nightmare. I forgot to put my details on it, and they wrote back going, who are you? So I was like, here's my details, but please don't tell them it was me because that's going to cause problems. So they're like, no, it's all anonymous. It's all anonymous. So a week went by and I got a letter yesterday saying, like, dear you, we wrote to your neighbours, we've told them to stop. If they don't fill in this log, let us know. Over the weekend we'd noticed that they had people over for whatever reason, you know, whatever they were doing, and the music was much lower. It was so low that their guest was just really loud. Their guest was talking like a foghorn, and it was all we could hear. And we just thought, you know, I can live with that. But you know, I'm not that much of a monster. But it was quite funny because we were just like, there's no noise, what's going on? And then Claire said maybe they'd been told, and then we got the letter confirming they had been. So which then Claire was like, well, maybe they haven't been told, maybe they'll get the letter today, because she figured the council would send the letters out at the same time perhaps, but we don't know. I'm now nervous. I don't want to bump into them and be asked. We've agreed if they ask, we're just going to say no, we don't know what you're on about, and deny our knowledge. But I'd rather they didn't acknowledge it and just left it how it was. And there's not meant to be any hard feelings there, if that makes sense. It's not meant to be a war or a fight. It's just meant to be we're sorted now. But it is making me slightly anxious. Like, I went to put something in the bin and I saw them through the window of our back door that they were there. It's frosted. I don't think they'd have seen me. But I just kind of waited until they'd gone in before I went to the bin. And I'll get over it eventually, but I just think we're going to get like well, why don't you just talk to us or something like that? And I'm going to say, sorry, what? I don't know. I'm worried that I'll just go, I don't know, and just be honest. But I don't really want to be. I just want to go, I don't know what you're on about. I don't know. Claire's adamant we should just style it out and say we don't know what they're talking about. But I don't know. It's just generally awkward, and that might make things worse, but hopefully they just will never acknowledge it and we'll just get on with our lives. But yeah, exciting that it's done. I just feel like at what cost, and now I'm anxious about it. I wish we could have done it some other way. I don't really know what we could have done, but I think I'm just being silly at this point. I don't really, you know, hopefully this is the end of it. I'm touching wood, or I don't even know if this IKEA stuff is wood. It feels like plastic. I'm sure it's wood. Right, what else is going on? We're going to Woburn tomorrow, so that's going to be exciting. I'm going to do some filming while I'm there if I can. I think it should be fine. My plan is I'm driving down there and then Claire's going to drive us round it, because the thought of running over a monkey or a tiger is just winding me up. I just don't want to accidentally kill a rhino or something insane. Like, if you know what I'm like, I shaved half a mustache off. I do stupid things. I don't want to end up sitting down in front of a camera tomorrow night and going, I killed a tiger. You know, it just... So I don't mind sitting here and going, look, Claire smushed a monkey, it was her fault, and she's silly. You know what I mean? I can live with that. I could be like, Claire, you monster. But I just wouldn't be able to sleep at night. Today was quite fun. Eagle-eyed people behind me might notice that this is empty. We finally sat and did the Lego Harry Potter Hogwarts thing that I'd knocked down. It's now on a shelf downstairs where it should have been in the first place, really. Weirdly, there were no pieces missing. I came up after Clara took it all downstairs and I found like 3 pieces under the bed, which we weren't even looking for. I was just making sure that she'd got everything. And then she went through it all and it's all in one piece and it's there. So that's a relief. It's finally done. It was quite fun trying to piece it together like a crime scene, just looking through the book, trying to figure out what pieces were still together and what weren't, because it was just smashed. But it's done now. We got new internet, which I'm hoping means these will upload a lot quicker. Annoyingly, Vodafone told me that our speeds would be something like 45 to 65. From Sky we were supposed to get between 30 and 60, and we were only ever getting 31. So I set it all up today, and the app tells me we're getting 31.5, and I'm like, it does say give it 10 days, it'll balance out and blah blah blah, but they're adamant that the minimum we should get is in the 40s. So I'm thinking we should see like a 10 meg upgrade in our speeds, which should be lovely jubbly. But I don't know. I don't know what to expect really. I kept testing it earlier. I'll keep checking the app. They do promise some kind of discount if it's not right while they fix it, and if they can't fix it, they'll permanently discount it. But I don't know. I kind of just want the fast internet. Even if they said, look, for a 10 or more a month, we can make this go faster, I'd probably pay it. Like, it bothers the heck out of me that Deepin has such terrible internet, but it's because it's a small place. We need to move really at some point in life. But even on Kev's side of Deepin, it's double the speed. So maybe we just need to move over that side of Deepin, you know. But it's just frustrating. For God's sakes, if you can pipe there, pipe here, damn it. But yeah, I don't know really how you control it. What annoys me more is Rutland is so neglected that they made their own internet. They became their own internet service provider, and they all get really fast internet because they made their own. And I'm like, well, why can't we do that? Why can't Deepin? I know we're not a county like Rutland, but we're probably more as many people. It's a small county. The Deeping area could have their own Deeping broadband, surely, which is super fast and mega brilliant. But I don't know, it's just frustrating. It's really irritating that they can't give us faster speeds. It's just because things like this take so long to put up, and you know, it takes ages to do downloads of stuff like Netflix or whatever. It always gets a little bit jumpy now and again. Or if I'm doing the vlog, not the vlog, the podcast, it tends to be me that suddenly cuts out mid-sentence because too many people are on or whatever. So I'm hoping that the new Vodafone router will be a bit better and stuff like that. We'll see what happens. But yeah, other than that, I think our week's pretty quiet ahead. I've had a couple more hiccups where yesterday we had Claire bought this lovely chicken tikka curry for dinner. Tucked it. I swear she's trying to kill me or something at the moment. Because I was eating it and I was like, there's a leaf thing in it. Oh, I didn't know that was there. I took it out and I was like, oh, it's got cumin in it. Like, I've bit into a lump of that, put it down. So I went to eat what I thought was this nice sort of red, what they called, yeah, red peppery type thing. Yeah, red pepper. Went to just bite it because it looked like a slice of that. Bit into it and it was a bloody chili. Absolutely burnt my face off. I could have told her that's what did the moustache if I'd kept it all quiet. I could have said, you burnt my moustache off, damn you. But no, I spent last night for about an hour, I was just in such discomfort. I was drinking like so much milk, trying to clear it, and it just wasn't working. And I don't even know, normally I'm quite good with spicy food. I think it was just the fact it caught me off guard and there was a lot of it. Like, I sort of crunched it and just covered my tongue in chili, but it was just horrible and ugh. But yeah, I'm sort of thinking what she's going to get me with today, because it's just been a couple of times now that she's been catching me out. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anything else that's particularly happened. We've just been watching Parks and Recreation on Amazon, and I've just started watching Good Girls on Netflix again. They're both really cool. Really recommend them if you've never seen them. Kids have all been just doing their things. Ollie's been obsessing over whatever it is he's been watching on, what's he been watching at the moment? Adventure Time. He's obsessed. He loves it. He loves it so much. And Emily actually comes down and watches it now and again. He found some of her old comics. She had like 5 graphic novels that I used to get them for her every time I went to Comic-Con. And he found them on her shelf. I think she was clearing out a room. And so he read through like all of them in about 2-3 days, which again is just great for his reading. I want to get him more of them, but he realised he could also get it on Sky. So he's watched something like 60 episodes of it in the past week and a half, I'd say. Not that excessive when you do the maths, because they're only like 20-minute episodes, but he's been hammering it. Sky's system's well clunky as well. Like, you can't just roll into new episodes. You've got to search for the season and all this. So I've had to teach him all about seasons, because at one point he was trying to go from like episode 5 of season 1 to like episode 10 of season 12 or whatever it is. And it was like, you can't just jump across. You'll see things you know, the characters will be doing things you didn't know they could do because it's evolved so much. And yeah, I think he gets it. I'm not trying to be geeky with that. It feels like it's got a proper story to it, at least bubbling along the background at times. But yeah, it's been interesting. He didn't really think about that. You know, as far as he's concerned, all episodes are standalone. And I remember being like that. I didn't know that anything had proper stories to it until I was a teenager, really. I thought it was all just standalone. I've been trying to get Emily into some programs. I really wanted to get her watching Lost. I think she's probably just about old enough to watch Lost. She's thinking about it, but then we're kind of trying to work out how we can watch it with her without Ollie trying to watch it with us, because he's definitely too young. But he won't sit upstairs if he knows she's down watching with us. He won't do it. But yeah, no, it's been an interesting week. You know, everyone seems to be in the groove of school holidays now, which is bizarre when we've already been home for, what, 5 months or whatever it is, 6 months. You know, they've been home since March, but they're suddenly in holiday mode now, and it is different. I feel like the stress is off. It feels nice having the stress off for me as well. I mean, I'm doing this at sort of 5 o'clock, when normally I'd have just finished work. I'd have been like, oh, God, I'll do it later, you know. But we've just been out to the park. I was doing, weirdly, having spent the whole weekend playing Pokemon Go to excess, I still went to the park and played it there. Played it yesterday. We went out. Just having nice little family park days and stuff like that, which I would film, but there's loads of random people there and I don't want to film strangers in the background. I don't want to look like I'm filming kids at the park. That just feels a little bit like people would get alarmed. I know there's like rules, you can film out and about, but it's just if my kids are playing or something, I'd have to make everyone, I'd have to wait till everyone was off it and stuff like that. And yeah, it's just faff. I thought we'll enjoy some time together, but I will film Woburn. I'm hoping that I can get some good stuff from it. I'm really excited about Ben's reactions to seeing the tiger and stuff. Annoyingly, he keeps asking where we're going to see a cheetah, and there are no cheetahs at Woburn. But I told him we're seeing tigers and lions and giraffes and rhinos, and he went, cheetahs? And I'm like, no. It's like, we're seeing cheetahs. And I'm like, no, we're not. We're going to see, what else? There's lemurs. You know, I think Ollie said there's flamingos. I don't think there are, but he's convinced there are. Giraffes. There's elephants. But Ben just keeps saying, we're going to see the cheetahs. And I'm like, stop it. We're seeing wolves, bears, monkeys. I had a dream that he opened the door, got out and ran off with the monkeys the other day. This is how stupid my mind is. Which was a panic in the dream at first, that he'd got out and he was off with them. But then he started teaching them how to misbehave in the dream. That's how ridiculous it got, that I was trying to get him to get out of a tree and he was just throwing poop at me with monkeys. So I'm convinced that's going to happen now. I'm convinced that he's going to just open the door, run off with the monkeys, and yeah, they're all just going to become really mischievous and we're going to get in trouble with the zoo for teaching their monkeys bad lessons. But I'm just going to be clinging onto him. I said to Claire, like, you can lock the doors from the inside so they can't be open, so that'll be fine, but I'm just going to be holding that handle and holding him with the other hand. So I might not film the monkey bit because I need a third arm to be able to hold the camera, but we'll see what happens. I'm sure I'll relax once we're there. My mind is just stupid. It starts to run wild, and we were this close to booking a hotel and staying there the night before, but I thought, well, I don't want to spend 50 quid on that when I could just sleep in my own bed. But B, I was like, I'm not even getting a hotel breakfast out of it because they didn't seem to be doing them. And I thought, well, if I'm not getting that, what's the point? Hotels are only, you go to a hotel to have a hotel breakfast the next day. That's the only reason people do it. Otherwise, they would just stay up all night, sleep in the streets or sleep at home. The breakfast is what makes it worth doing. And that's not there, so screw it. Anyway, yeah, that is your lot, because I'm just talking gibberish now. I feel like I'm losing my mind. I hope you're all well. Let me know how you're getting on. Let me know how your week's gone, how your school holidays are going. I don't remember if I mentioned we got the EHCP. I think I did. We got that back, and they told us they're not changing the funding, so that's a pain. But they are jigging things around. We finally sent off the DLA forms. I realised, I said to Claire, if they give us what I think they're gonna, if we get what we think we're gonna get, we should have sent this in like January, February. We could have sent it when I started doing the vlog, and people said to me, you can apply for DLA. So we could have done it like 15 months ago, probably. I filled it out in March, February time, and I even wrote May on the form when I was filling it out. Like, I remember signing it 21st of May or something like that. We finally sent it yesterday. I said to Claire, not sending that form, I mean, I don't know what we expect Ollie to qualify for, but it's cost us thousands just from being really, really bad at filling it. We've been so busy or just worn out or unfocused and distracted by COVID and stuff like that, that in a normal scenario, if I'd have filled it out, got the forms and sent it, the moment I thought about it, yeah, we'd have had so much difference. I mean, all the things Ollie could have had in that time that would have helped him, it's really frustrating. Again, I'm trying to just push that out of my brain. We're not worse off from it. like nothing bad's happened, touch wood, it's all good. It's just, yeah, I get annoyed with myself. I feel like we need a manager to just be like, remember to do this, remember to do that, remember to do, you know, just pushing us through stuff, because otherwise we end up forgetting or just focusing on the wrong thing and we're just dumb. Yeah, I feel silly. Anyway, thanks for watching. As I say, hope you're all well, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers.